Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to be reviewing probably a fan favorite with respect to a budget dive watch. And this is from Orient, and this is the Orient Mako 2, which has been out for a while. And some of you might ask, well, why am I waiting so long to review this piece? Well, it was actually this time last year that I reviewed the Orient Ray 2, which is essentially the same watch, except instead of having Arabic hour markers at 12, 6, and 9 like you do here, it just has all straightly applied indices. And then the other main difference that I noticed, well, it's actually a subtle difference, is the handset for the Orient Ray 2. I noted that the second hand on the Ray 2 actually had a lume plot on it, whereas this one, there's no lume applied to it. And then the hour sword style hand was slightly different in its configuration with the Ray 2 as opposed to this one on the Mako 2. But the Mako 2 here looks pretty clean, pretty symmetrical. So let me quickly talk about the specs of this watch. This is a 41.5 millimeter case diameter. If you hold it to the side here and look at the lug to lug distance, it's 47 millimeters. Case thickness is 13 millimeters. And the lug gap here for this bracelet is 22 millimeters. But it tapers down to about a 20 millimeter at the clasp. And very common lug size, so you can also easily swap this out for like a NATO strap or different bracelets. If you want to dress it up, you can throw it on a leather bracelet, or you can do shark mesh, or you can do a rubber strap if you're going to be using it more as a sports watch. So again, these watches have been out for a while. The prices on these Orient Ray and Mako 2s, as well as the XL, have steadily dropped to well below 200 Canadian. So like, as a budget dive watch, this checks a lot of boxes. So what draws me into this watch is that gorgeous sunburst blue dial and matching aluminum bezel insert. Now, the movement on this is actually an in-house movement from Orient. It's their caliber F6922, which is similar as the Ray 2. It ticks away at 3 Hertz or 21,600 vibrations per hour. It's got 22 joules and about a 40-hour power reserve. And importantly, you can manually wind this and you can hack the movement as well. So most people would compare this directly to offerings from Seiko, like their SKX, but you can't hack or hand wind the SKX where you can on the Orient. So again, really great budget dive watch. For the Mako 2, you're getting applied Arabic hour markers for 12, 6, and 9 o'clock, and then you just have applied indices, those dash marks for the rest of the hour markers. You have an applied Orient logo at the 12 o'clock, and then closer to the 6, it says water resistant up to 200 meters. And then similar to the Ray 2, at the 3 o'clock position, you actually have a day and date complication, which is great to see. I really enjoy it, and I also enjoy how they framed that. You can see that there's just a nice window that steps down to the actual day and date wheel. So now some of the gripes about the Ray 2 kind of transfer over to this guy here, the Mako 2. One of the problems I had with the watch was being able to grip and operate the bezel. It is a 120 click unidirectional bezel. You can see it's a coin edge style, but the teeth for it aren't sunken in too well, so it's a little hard to operate, more so if you're going to be wearing gloves or if your hands are wet. The bezel action is stiff but positive, and the alignment is good. There's not a lot of backplay either, so take that as you will. I do enjoy how strong the luminous pearl at the 12 o'clock lights up. And I'm going to throw up a loom shot too, so you can just see how the face and bezel just loom up. Now if we move to the side, we can look at some of the finishing as well as the crown. So the crown here, it's a high polish along with the shoulders of the case. and it's just got a laser etched in Orient logo. The crown, I would say, is slightly undersized. It's got nice crown guards to protect it, so you're definitely not going to be like damaging it directly, like the stem for the crown. But I wish it was knurled out a little better as well, similar to the bezel. Although unscrewing is fairly straightforward. Now, with these caliber F6922 movements, I find it's a very audible and kind of grindy movement when you wind it. But again, you can pull it out to the first position. That will allow you to quickly adjust the day or the date. And then if you pull it out to a second position, again, you hack the movement. So you see how that second hand stops. And then pushing it back in, rethreading it, fairly straightforward, although again, I do find it a little hard to grip. But you can't expect the world on a budget like this. Now if we look at the finishing for the rest of the watch, again, high polish along the sides, nice brushing, radial brushing on the top of the case. And then we're going to talk about the bracelet, which is your standard entry-level Orient bracelet. Nothing to write home about. I mean, it's a fairly standard oyster-style bracelet. The end links here are hollow. So I think a lot of that noise does come from the fact that these are just hollowed out end links. You have standard push pins here to size the bracelet. You can see that the sides are also of the links are high polish, and then you get mostly brushed along the surface here. Then you get to the clasp, which is just lightly etched in Orient logo, flip lock security, dual trigger deployment here, fairly standard pressed out metal here, so nothing to really write home about. And then you get your case back, which on the perimeter is a high polish, and then in the center, let me just flip it over here. It's just got your basic information about the case being stainless steel, the fact that it's got its in-house movement, and the water resistance rating. So I'll pop it on wrist in a second so you guys can see how it wears. I will mention that the crystal isn't sapphire, it's just hardened mineral, but it works pretty well. And proportionally, I just think it'll please a large number of wrist sizes. Alright, so here's a wrist shot for you guys. As you can see, sits really well on my just over 7¼ inch wrist. Yeah, and I think again, because you have very common 22mm lug openings, you can easily swap out this bracelet if you want to. I mean, it's decent for the price, but you can dress it up or dress it down if you want to swap it out. So let me just talk about my closing thoughts about this piece. Okay guys, so to wrap things up, I think this watch just checks a number of boxes if you just want a reliable and budget dive watch. For one, it does got all the dive specifications you want. 200 meters water resistant, decent lume for visibility, decent bezel that lines up really well. Some of the negatives, again, this is what I noted in this watch as well as the Ray 2, is that I wish the bezel operation and crown operation were a little easier. I wish the bracelet just had solid end links, although again, for getting a watch like this under $200, you can't really expect too much. But overall guys, I really do enjoy the budget dive offerings from Orient, and I think they're really good alternatives to Seiko if you're not interested in paying the inflated prices for discontinued SKXs or for monsters, like things of that nature. Definitely pick up one of these guys, you won't be disappointed. So please let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and as always, I'll catch you in the next video.